Good morning, friends. Happy Monday. I told you I'd be back. I decided I would still try to put these out on Mondays, and if anything crazy happens to me during the week, I'll try to put it out then too. But I don't want to annoy people. So but a lot of people asked me if I would keep going with morning meetings. So I will try to do that. They're kind of fun, and it's fun to kind of sit around and think about what in the world I could talk to you about. So um I I have like a little bit of a list, but lately I don't know why I'm thinking about this, but I've been thinking a lot about smells, and I think because my allergies have been really, really bad this year, which is annoying because I've been doing those drops for like ever, and I don't think they're working. It's really bothering me, but I had pretty pretty intense sinus surgery twice, and I had to have it because I totally, completely lost my sense of smell twice. Now this is before Corona when that was like a thing, so it's not that, but it was really, really terrible sinuses, and it, I didn't understand what an exceptional sense of smell I had until it started to go away, and it kind of came to a head when I almost burnt my house down because there was a pot burning on the stove and I couldn't smell it. And then the same week, I served Darby spoiled milk because I tried to smell it, but I couldn't smell anything. So I'm back to being able to smell things. But what's weird is that it's like a nerve issue, I think, because sometimes I am the super smeller that I used to be. And I mean, I truly believe that I'm one of those really rare super smellers. Look them up, they're a real thing because the things I can smell are unbelievable, and most people can't smell them at all. The things that I can smell. So losing that was really devastating. And then I kind of got it back. And now I have it back, but only some of the time. Like it comes and goes. It's very strange. But smells have always been incredibly powerful to me, but they're powerful for everybody because you have so many memories that like come rushing back when you have a certain smell. When Darby was probably around like 4 or 5, they discontinued the perfume that I had been wearing since college. And if you went to college with me, you know exactly what I'm talking about because I wore this oil from the Body Shop called Juba. And people would come up to me and say, "Oh, were you just on the third floor? Because I swear I could smell you." And it was just that thing where I had that signature smell. And they discontinued Juba when Darby was like a little girl. And I freaked out because I knew that was the smell my daughter knew me by. And my amazing husband like drove all over New York State with me, like buying up bottles of Juba wherever we could find them. And I still have a bunch of them in the bottom of my refrigerator in the dark where I keep them. And then from after Juba, I switched over to the perfume I have worn ever since. And same thing, I don't change that perfume because one of the things I've noticed is that my students, particularly my students who are on this the autism spectrum, they identify very, very powerfully with my smell. So I don't change my perfume. I wear the same perfume I've worn for 15 years because they identify with that smell. And whenever they come back to see me and they'll hug me, and one of the first things kids always say to me is, "Oh my God, you smell exactly the way I remember you smelling." And it's such a powerful thing, which is fun because I'm glad that they don't like identify with the smells that I identify with when I'm in like my classroom, because frankly, whenever I'm in my classroom or pretty much any elementary school classroom, I pretty much think that the scent of elementary school classroom is farts and glue. Like that's the smell of an elementary classroom, not the building, but the classrooms themselves. It's like farts and glue. Now I'm sure middle school is more like farts and sweat, so I'm sure you have it so much worse, but um, I love smells. Whenever I go home, this is so weird. I love to go to the Olean Public Library because it has a very specific smell that I identify with getting my first library card. And I know it sounds dumb, but it still smells like the Olean Public Library. And the Port Vale Free Library also has one of my favorite smells. Olean, I can't really identify. Like I know the smell, but I couldn't describe what it was. But Portville has a smell that's like old wood and books, and the smell of old books is like, oh my God, one of the best smells in the whole world. I need to look and see if there's a candle like that's the smell of books because that is one of the greatest smells of all time. But like I'm sure your mom has a smell like when you hug your mom. Darby and I always like talk about how we love each other's smell. Whenever I hug her, I love her smell. And it's funny because I hadn't hugged her for quite a while because of the virus. I was like, I didn't hug her. I was really, really terrified to get near anyone for like from March until about a week or two ago. And then I just kind of decided I needed to like try to live my life a little better, a little differently. And I don't want to put anyone at risk, but I had to hug my daughter. And so she came over, and when I hugged her, I really, like, I had to try so hard not to cry because it was the first time I'd smelled her skin in like almost 2.5 months, maybe. I mean, it was just ridiculous. But like here at the lake where I live, there's every now and then there's this very certain like scent of water and dirt or something that comes across, and it immediately brings back the smells of Juanita Lake from my childhood that had that certain smell on the water every now and then. Down in Confluence, Pennsylvania, where I used to work, a very specific smell of the river there. So I identify really, really strongly with where and how things smell. Even my grandpa's school, Boardmanville, this is so funny, but I love the smell of Boardmanville. Again, different schools have different smells. I love going back to Portville. To the elementary school has a very specific smell. The middle school and high school do not, to me, which is interesting. But it's just, I love smells. So that's something you can really think about and be aware of today. And I'd love to know your favorite smells, or if this happens to you too, if you're really strongly affected by them. I love smells. So, oh my God, like the smell of a puppy. Like, what are your favorite smells? Puppies all have that scent, and I don't know why. They all smell exactly the same, and then they outgrow it and they don't have that smell anymore. I love the smell of my cat's head. Her head smells different than any other cat I've ever had, and I could smell her head forever. And I still have the pillow that I had when I was a little girl. It is disgusting. I don't let anyone see it because it is so embarrassing. It is so gross. It doesn't even resemble a pillow anymore. I mean, it is one of the most disgusting things I own, and I cannot sleep without that thing. So kind of a weird thing to talk about, I know, on a Monday morning, but these are going to be like this because I have other stories, but sometimes you just have to be feeling it. So I just thought I would talk to you about some smells, and there you go. So I'd love for you to think about that today. And if you're one of my little friends who's home and you're bored and you and your parents are making you do homework, definitely do a little writing. Try to do a little bit of writing and write about your favorite smells. It's kind of fun. I'd love to hear about it. Okay. Happy Monday, everybody. I might see you again this week. I might not. I don't know. We're going to play this thing by ear. I don't want to put a lot of pressure on myself because then I get crazy. Crazy-er, my husband would say. Okay. Bye, friends. Happy Monday.